Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to model a parametric upper cabinet from a drawing, okay? I have a drawing right here, okay? I'm going to model this. I'm going to show you how to do it, and I'm going to show you how to add parameters, all right? So let's get to it. Okay, so this upper cabinet is parametric, which means you change the width. Every part of this cabinet gets updated. You can change the height, change the depth. You can change the thickness of the material. So I'm going to show you what I mean. All right. So I'm going to go up here, which is FX, change parameters. Okay. These are the parameters that I have. Okay. So right now the width of the cabinet is 28 inches. Let's go to the drawing. So right here, the depth is 12 and 8, and the height is 31 and 3/16. All right. Let's go back to the model, and I'm going to change the width of this cabinet from 28, let's say, to 20. Hit enter. See that? See how everything got updated? So I'm gonna click OK. Rotate the model. See that? Every part of this cabinet, like the top and bottom, and the fixed shelf and the back, all those parts get updated. All right. I want to change the height of this cabinet. All right. I want to make it just a little taller. So where it says side height, I'm gonna go from 30 inches to 40. I'm gonna hit enter. There it is. Click OK. You see the space right here? Okay, this is always going to be the same, which is 14 and a quarter. Okay, from the bottom face of the top panel to the top face of the fixed shelf. Okay, let's go to the drawing. I'm going to show you that right here. See that? That's 14 and a quarter. Okay, that's always going to remain the same. Let's say that's this space right here is critical. Okay, so you change the height of the cabinet. This is always going to remain 14 and a quarter. Right? You make this you make this cabinet taller. This space right here, it's gonna be bigger. You make these cabinets smaller. This bottom space, it's gonna be smaller. This is always gonna remain 14 and a quarter. Okay. Let's go back to the 3D model. All right. Let's say I want to change the depth. I'm gonna go back to change parameters, and I want this just the depth a little bigger. Let's say 16 inches. I'm gonna type 16. Hit enter. There it is. Click OK. Okay, and this cabinet has a setback of 3/4 of an inch right here. See that? So everything gets updated. Right? I'm gonna turn off the back. Okay, you see the groove here. All right. See the fixed shelf gets bigger as well. All right. Okay, so let's model this from scratch. So I'm gonna create a new design. I'm gonna click on this plus sign right here, or you can use or you can type Control N on your keyboard. Okay, for Windows. I don't know. I don't know. Is that a shortcut for Mac? All right. So I'm gonna create the parameters. Okay. I'm gonna go up here. That's the first thing. The first thing that I'm gonna do. Right. So where it says user parameters, I'm gonna click on the plus sign, and I'm gonna type width. I'm gonna type 28. It's the width of the cabinet. Click OK. I'm gonna create the height, but it's gonna be the height of the side panel. So I'm gonna type side height. Okay, and it's 30 inches. Click OK. The next one is going to be the depth of the cabinet. So I'm going to type depth. It's 12 and an 8, right? Hit enter. The next one is going to be thickness of the material. And I'm going to type here 0.75, 3/4, right? Click OK. Okay, so the next one is going to be, click OK, let's go back to that 3D model. The next one is going to be the diameter of the holes, right? Because this cabinet has a door, okay? So it has holes for the door hinges, okay? Let's go to the drawing. You see that? So that cabinet has 5mm holes, okay? They have the distance here in metric, okay? From this edge of the side panel to the center of the hole is 37mm, and the spacing between the holes is 32, okay? So let's go back to new design, back to change parameters. So I'm going to create that parameter hole diameter, okay? I'm going to change the unit from inches to millimeters, and I'm going to type 5, okay? Or you can leave it in inches and type 5 mm, okay? Either way, right? Either way works. I'll leave it like that, okay? Click OK. The next one is going to be the depth of the hole. So let's go back to the drawing, and I have it right here. See that? 12mm down, okay? Back to change parameters. I'm going to create that parameter hole depth, and I'm going to type 12 mm, right? 12mm. Click OK. Next one is going to be hole spacing. It's the spacing between the holes, which is 32mm, right? So I'm going to type hole spacing. Under expressions, I'm going to type 32 mm. Okay, click OK. And the next one is going to be hole distance. Okay, hole distance, which is 37mm. Okay, and you can type a comment here. Let's say, okay, it's distance from edge of side panel to center of hole. Okay, I'm gonna click OK. All right, so that's the distance right here. See the comment? All right. Oh, oops. Type from. Sorry about that. And panel. Forgot the L. Okay. Click OK. All right. Next one is gonna be. Oh, gotta go back to change parameters. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to click OK. The next parameter is gonna be setback. Right here, under expression, I'm gonna type 0.75, 3/4. Click OK. How do I know it's 3/4? Well, let's go back to the drawing. See it right here? See that setback, and then you see the back panel. Okay. All right. Let's go back to a new design and change parameters. And the next one is gonna be the depth of the groove. So I'm gonna type groove depth, and I'm gonna type 4mm, 4 mm. That's 0.57 inches. That's 530 seconds. I'm gonna click OK. Click OK here. I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna go to the drawing, and it's right here. Okay. You can change this to metric if you want. Just double click on it, and from where it says primary units, strap it down. There you go. You want to see the units, all right? So right here where it says M, just click on that. And that's 4 millimeters. So I'm gonna close that. Okay. Move it right there. Okay. Okay. What's next? Got the setback. Okay. I need a distance. I'm gonna create a parameter for um this space right here, which is 14 and a quarter. That's the one that's not gonna move, right? So let's go back to the new design to change parameters, and I'm gonna create that parameter. I'm gonna name it shelf distance. Okay, and I'm gonna make this parametric, and I'm gonna show you in a few minutes when I start modeling the parts for the cabinet. Okay, so it's gonna be groove depth plus 14.25. Okay, click OK. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go to the drawing. I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. Okay, so I'm gonna start from this edge, right? From here of the side panel. This is a side panel right here. Okay, so I'm adding the groove, right? The depth of the groove right here, which is 4 millimeters, right? Plus the distance, right? Which is 14 and a quarter. Okay, so it changed the height of this cabinet. This is always going to be 14 and a quarter, like I mentioned before. Okay, let's go back to our new design. What else do I have to add here? I think I'm good for now. All right, so I'm gonna click OK. And the first thing that I'm gonna do is create the bottom panel. So I'm gonna hit R on my keyboard to get that 2-point rectangle. I'm gonna select this bottom plane. I'm gonna snap it right there. And I'm gonna type depth, right? And I'm gonna hit tab on my keyboard to get the width. I'm gonna type width. Oops. Back to that. Go. Hit enter. And there it is. All right. So I got 28 by 12 and 8. Okay. Okay. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create the grooves. Okay, right here, and the groove in the back, right, for the back panel, and the setback, right. So I'm gonna hit L on my keyboard for line. Okay, I'm gonna go up. Okay, I'm gonna snap it right there. Okay, or you can type depth if you want. Okay, hit enter, and I'm gonna change the width of this groove, right, the thickness of the material. So I'm gonna hit D on my keyboard for dimension, or you can go up here. See sketch dimension. Click on that. Select this point and that point, and I'm gonna type thickness. And there it is. Okay. Next, I'm gonna mirror this line. All right. So I'm gonna create a construction line right in the center. So I'm gonna hit X on my keyboard. You go up here in the sketch palette. So I'm gonna hit X. It's gonna activate the line type. See it? Construction. I'm gonna click X one more time. It's gonna disable it. It's gonna turn it off. See it? So I'm gonna hit X on my keyboard, or you can just click on here. Okay. Now I'm gonna hit L on my keyboard. I'm gonna snap it right there. See the triangle as the midpoint. Okay. I'm gonna go up. Okay, I'm gonna click on that plus sign. Okay, hit enter on your keyboard or escape. All right. So hit escape, and I'm gonna turn this off by clicking on this on a line type or X on my keyboard. Oops. Okay, there you go. Escape. Okay, so I'm gonna mirror this line. So I'm gonna go up here. It says mirror. Okay, you can use the design shortcut. All right, so you can hit S. You bring this sketch shortcuts window right here. And you can type mirror. Okay, you have two different types of mirror. This is the sketch, and this is 3D modeling. Okay, so you're gonna select this one right here. Okay, you see that one right there? You see it's solid. The inside is shaded in. You see that? All right, so I'm gonna select this one. This is a sketch mirror. Okay, and object is gonna be this line, mirror line. I'm gonna click on that. And I'm gonna select this construction line right here. I'm gonna click OK. All right. Next one is gonna be the groove in the back and the setback. So I'm gonna hit L on my keyboard. I'm gonna snap it right there, and I'm gonna go across, and I'm gonna type width. Hit enter. Hit enter again, and I'm gonna dimension this line. All right. This is gonna be the setback. So D for dimension on your keyboard, or you can go up here. Okay. I'm gonna select that point and this point, and I'm gonna type setback. But you guys might thinking, wait a minute, the setback is the same as thickness. Yeah, it is. But sometimes you might have a smaller setback, like a smaller piece that goes in the back, right? A little blocking, so the thickness might be different. Might be uh, that material is gonna the blocking the material, right? If let's say it's not like MDF or melamine, which is true 3/4, right? It's gonna be plywood, so it's a little less. So that's why I created this setback parameter. Okay, so I'm gonna type setback. Right now it's 3/4, right? But you let's say it's not like really 3/4. Is let's say like 3/4 inch plywood. So it's gonna be like what 0.73, 0.74 inches. Or metric, it could be 18 millimeters, right? So right here was a setback. I'm gonna change that. Let's say 18 millimeters, right? I'm gonna type 18 mm. I'm gonna hit enter. See, I got smaller. Now it's 0.709 inches. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to that parameter setback. I'm gonna change it back to 0.75. Hit enter. There it is. Okay. Okay. So the next one is gonna be the groove here. So I'm gonna create another line. So I'm gonna hit L on my keyboard. I'm gonna snap it right there. And I'm gonna go all the way to the left. And I'm gonna type width. Hit enter. And then I'm gonna dimension this guy right here. Okay. Okay. Dimension this. I gotta get the width of this groove right here, right? Which is the thickness of the material. So I'm gonna go up here or hit D on your keyboard. All right. So I'm gonna select sketch dimension, right? I'm gonna select this point and that point. And I'm gonna type thickness. Okay. Hit enter. There it is. Okay. So I'm gonna finish sketch, and I'm gonna extrude this profile to make the 3D part. Okay, so I'm gonna finish sketch. Okay, I'm gonna hit E for extrude on my keyboard, and I'm gonna select this profile, this one, 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 and this one. Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna select I selected every single profile, so I'm gonna type minus thickness. Okay, and the operation is gonna be new component. Okay, so it's minus thickness because I'm going down, right? Because after this, after I create this rectangle or the bottom panel, then I'm gonna screw this profile here to create the grooves, right? So that's why I'm typing minus thickness right here. Okay, I'm gonna click OK. There's the bottom panel, right? And you can name the component here bottom. You can also name the sketch, right? Right here, see? You can right click, rename, and I'm gonna type bottom. And this feature right here, screw, you can name it as well, right? Right click, rename. I'm gonna type bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna create the grooves, right? So I'm gonna where it says right here where it says sketches. I'm gonna click on the arrow to drop it down. I'm gonna turn on the sketch. There it is. Okay, so I'm gonna select extrude right here or E on your keyboard. I'm gonna select this profile, this, and this. And I'm gonna type minus because I'm going down, right? It's gonna cut. Minus groove depth. See that? See the operation changed to cut, right? I'm gonna hit enter or click OK. Okay. And I'm gonna turn off the sketch there. See that? I'm gonna select this edge. That should be 14 millimeters deep. Right now, I'm working in inches. Right? Document settings. I'll show you. See it? Okay. All right. So this is the bottom panel. The next part that I'm gonna model is the left side panel. Okay. So I'm gonna hit R on my keyboard for that 2-point rectangle, and I'm gonna select this face here. Okay. And I'm gonna snap it there, drag it to the left. Okay, and I'll click right there. Okay. Now hit escape. Hit D for dimension. And I'm gonna select this line right here. And I'm gonna type depth. Hit enter. Okay. And I gotta change the thickness, right? Of that side panel. So I'm gonna select that point and this point. And I'm gonna type thickness. Alright. Now I'm gonna extrude this profile, okay, up to create that side panel, okay? So I'm gonna finish sketch. I'm gonna select extrude. I'm gonna rotate the model. Okay. I'm gonna select that profile. And I'm gonna type side height. Okay. Hit enter. But see where's right here. See where it says operation join. I don't want to join this. Okay. I want this to be a separate component, right? So I'll click on here, drop it down, and new component. Okay. And I'm gonna click OK. There it is. It's that left side panel. So I'm gonna type left side. Hit enter. I'm gonna turn it off. See that? Okay. Next, I'm gonna create the groove right here for the back panel. Okay. And the setback, right? So I'm gonna hit L on my keyboard, create a line. I'm gonna select this face. And if you don't see the bottom panel, you can just go up here and just turn it off, all right? So I'm gonna snap it right there, and I'm gonna type side height, hit enter again, and then I'm gonna dimension this line, right? This is gonna be the setback. So I'm gonna hit D on my keyboard, select that point and that point. I'm gonna type setback, hit enter again, and there it is. Now I'm gonna create that groove for that back panel. Okay. So I'm gonna hit L on my keyboard. I'm gonna snap it right there. Go down. Then I wanna type side height. Hit enter. Okay. Now when I hit D on my keyboard for dimension, select that point and that point, and I'm gonna type thickness. Hit enter. Okay. This environment this gray environment, the color, right? The background is it's not letting you see the lines, so I'm gonna change it to photo booth, right? To that white background. Right. So under environment, I'm gonna go down to photo booth. There you go. See better. You can see the lines better, right? Let's bring this dimension out here. Okay. All right. Next, I'm gonna model the groove for the thick shelf. Okay. So I'm gonna hit. Um, Actually, I'm gonna use a 2-point rectangle. Okay. Right here, and I'll select this line. I'm gonna snap it right there. Okay. And I'm gonna type thickness. I'm gonna hit tab on my keyboard. I'm gonna type depth. Okay. Minus setback. Hit enter. Okay. Or you can type or you can type right after setback type minus thickness if you want. Hit enter. It can be right there. Okay. It doesn't really matter because I'm gonna be extruding these profiles to create the grooves. All right. Okay. So now I need the distance, right? Um, the distance. Remember that spacing here. Let's go back to the drawing, which is 14 and a quarter. Remember this one? This one's not gonna move, right? Remember that parameter that remember excuse me. Remember that parameter that created? It says shelf distance. We're gonna use that here, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna hit D on my keyboard for dimension. I'm gonna select this point and this point. I'll bring it there. I'm gonna type shelf distance. There it is. Hit enter. Okay. Because remember this side panel is gonna go into the top. So there's gonna be 4 millimeters right here. So I'm I'm adding that the depth of the groove, right, which is 4 millimeters, right? Okay, so I got this distance now. Now I'm gonna create the 5 millimeter holes, right, for the door hinges. So I'm gonna hit C for circle on my keyboard. Okay, stop right there. I'm gonna hit D for dimension on my keyboard, or you can go up here. All right, bring it out, and I'm gonna type hole diameter. Hit enter. Right now it's in inches, but this is 5 millimeters. Let's go to change parameters. It's right there. See it? See the value? 0.197 inches. Okay. Okay. So the next hole I'm gonna dimension this. I need a distance, right? From this from edge of the side panel to the center of the hole. Okay, so I'm gonna hit D for dimension, select that line and that center point, bring it up, and I'm gonna type hole distance, which is 37 millimeters. Remember that parameter that I created in the beginning? So I'm gonna hit enter. Okay, and I want this hole right here to be 2 inches from the bottom face of the top panel to the center of the hole. Okay, so I'm gonna select that point and this middle point. I'm gonna bring it out, and I'm gonna type groove depth, right, plus 2 inches. Hit enter. Okay, now I'm gonna create a circle right here. Okay, so I'm gonna hit C for circle on my keyboard, and I'm gonna place it right there. Okay, now um I'm gonna get the diameter of this hole right here, the circle. I'm gonna hit D for dimension, bring it out, and I want this hole to be the same as that, right? So I'm gonna select that parameter. See that D35. So I'm gonna hit enter, and it's gonna be the same distance. So I'm gonna select that point and this edge, bring it down, zoom out, go up here, select that parameter, that dimension, and hit enter. Now I need a space between the holes, right? And I have a parameter for that. So I'm gonna select that point and this point. I'm gonna bring it out to the right. I'm gonna type hole spacing, which is 32 millimeters. Hit enter. Right now I have it in inches. Okay. Now I got 2 more circles to add right here, right? So I'm gonna hit escape, get out of that. Sketch dimension, all right? I'm gonna create a new circle. I'm gonna place it right here. I'm gonna dimension that circle. I'm gonna zoom out. I'm gonna select that dimension there. Hit enter. And I want this hole to be 2 inches from the top face of the fixed shelf. Okay. So I'm gonna select that midpoint, this line, bring it out to the left, and type 2 inches. Okay. Let me move this up, this dimension up. It's in my way. Okay, right there. Okay, I need the distance from this edge of the front panel to the center of the hole. It's the same as this one right here. Okay, I'm gonna hit D on my keyboard for dimension. Select that point and this line. Bring it up. Zoom out. I'm gonna select that dimension there. Hit enter. Okay. I'm gonna hit C for circle. I'm gonna place it right there. Okay. I'm gonna hit D for dimension. Select that midpoint of that circle. This line. Go up. Select this dimension. Hit enter. Dimension the hole, right? The diameter of the hole, and select this one right here. Hit enter. Okay. Now I gotta get the space between the holes. So I'm gonna select that point and this point. I'm gonna zoom out. Okay. And I'm gonna select that dimension there. Okay. Which is D40. Hit enter. There you go. Okay. This is all I needed for this left side panel. Okay. Now I'm gonna extrude to create the 3D model. Okay. I'm gonna select all the profiles. I'm gonna get a rectangle, and then I'm gonna extrude this profile and that profile to create the groove for the back panel on the fixed shelf. So I'm gonna finish sketch, or I'm gonna hit E on my keyboard for extrude. Okay, rotate that. Um, okay, oh yeah, I already created the 3D model. Sorry about that. All I have to do is just excuse me, um, create these grooves right here. Okay, so I'm gonna hit E on my keyboard to extrude. I'll select that profile and this profile right there. I'm gonna type minus uh groove depth. Hit enter. It's gonna cut it. Click OK. All right. I'm gonna turn the sketch back on, and you can name the sketch of the sketch right here. You can name that sketch right here. Right click, rename. Left side. Hit enter. Rename this feature, the extrude one. Rename type left side. Hit enter. I'm gonna name this sketch right here. Right click, rename. And I'm gonna write holes and grooves. Hit enter. And I'm gonna do the same. I want to name the same. This one's gonna be the same as well. Okay. Rename holes and grooves. Hit enter. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the sketch back on, and I'm gonna extrude circles, right? So I'm gonna hit E on my keyboard for extrude. Select that circle, that one, and that one. All right. And I'm gonna type minus hole depth. Hit enter. It's gonna cut it, right? Hit enter again. I'm gonna turn over that sketch. Okay, and there you have it. I'm gonna turn on the bottom panel right here. Okay, now I got a bottom panel and a left side panel. Okay, now I'm gonna create the top panel. Um, I'm not gonna create this from scratch. I'm just gonna mirror it. Okay, so I'm gonna create a big plane right here, going across, and I'm gonna go up here where it says mid plane. Okay, I'm gonna select this top face. I'm gonna rotate the model. I'm gonna turn off the bottom panel and select this face there. Click OK. Now I've got the mid plane created, right? I'm gonna turn on the bottom panel. And I'm gonna mirror this bottom panel. Okay. So I'm gonna select mirror, type, not faces, I want components. Okay. And I'm gonna select the bottom component right here. Okay. And I'm gonna select the mirror plane, which is the mid plane right here. Boom. There's the bottom. There's the top panel. Okay. I'll click OK. I'm gonna turn off that plane right here under construction. Drop it down. Turn that off. Okay. And I'm gonna name this top. Hit enter. Okay. And you can name that mirror feature here. Top. Rename top. Okay. You can also name the plane, the mid plane. Right click, rename, and type top. Hit enter. Okay. Now I'm gonna create the right side panel, and I'm gonna use the same method that I used to create the top panel. Right. I'm gonna create a mid plane right here. All right. So I'm gonna go up here, select mid plane, and I'm gonna rotate the model. I'm gonna select this face right there, the top panel, and this face right there. Oops, sorry about that. I'm gonna select this face, the bottom panel, rotate the model, and I'm gonna select this face right here. Okay, I just created a midplane. I'm gonna click OK. Now I'm gonna mirror the left side panel. So I'm gonna select mirror, components. I'm gonna select that left side component, my mirror plane, this midplane right here, and I'm gonna click OK. All right. This is the right side panel. I'm gonna turn off the midplane. Okay. 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 Let's check. Let's change the size of this cabinet. Let's make sure this is parametric before we continuing creating the back panel and the fixed shelf. All right. So let's go to change parameters. I'm gonna change the width to 20 inches. Hit enter. Okay. I'm gonna change the depth to 16. Hit enter. Okay. Rotate the model. So far so good. All right. Let's change the thickness. Let's make this ½ inch and see what happens. I'm gonna type 0.5. Hit enter. Everything gets updated. See it? Even the width of the groove is ½ inch. See that? Click OK. And I'll select this line right there. See right here at the bottom. It says length 0.5. Okay, it's ½ inch. Okay, everything's ½ inch. Okay, except the setback. See, it's 3/4. You want it to be ½ inch. Let's go back to change parameters. Let's go to that setback parameter. I'm gonna type 0.5. Boom. See that? Now it's ½ inch. Okay. So let's change that thickness back to 0.75 inches. And that setback to 0.75. Let's say you're gonna have a plywood blocking here. Okay. And it happens to be 0.71. Right, it's a little less than 3/4. 0.71. Hit enter. I'm gonna click OK. I'm gonna select this edge there. Yep, there it is. See that? Right here, length 0.71 inches. Okay. Go back to change parameters. Want this to be metric. Let's say 17 millimeters. Type 17 mm. Hit enter. Okay. See that? I'm gonna go back to change parameters. I'm gonna change that setback to 0.75. Hit enter. Click OK. So this cabinet is parametric. All right. Before I continue with the back and the fixed shelf, I'm gonna change the height. Let's check the height. Okay. Where it says side height, I'm gonna make this let's say 40 inches. Hit enter. Okay. This is always gonna be 14 1/4. So I'm gonna hit I on my keyboard to measure. I'll select that point and that point there, and that is the distance right here. Under results, I got 14 1/4. All right. I'm gonna close that. Okay, so this looks good. All right, so far. All right, so I'm gonna change the width back to 28 inches and the side height to 30 inches and the depth back to 12 and 8, 12.125. Hit enter. Okay, we see what happened here. See that? That's fine because remember the back panel is gonna go. It's gonna be right there. It's gonna go up. Okay, so it's gonna intersect with this groove right here for the fixed shelf. Okay. All right. Remember, there's a setback there. If you don't want to see that, you want to see the setback here. Let's go back to the sketch side, left side sketch. Holes and grooves, right? Right click, edit sketch. I'm gonna change that this dimension. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of minus thickness. Hit enter. I want to type depth. Okay, depth minus setback. Okay, okay, I'm gonna type depth. Hit enter. It's 12 and 8. Okay. Okay, I see what happened. All right. Okay. So see the sketch right here is see the sketch right here. It's not it's outside, right? It's out of the bottom panel. So I'm gonna have to fix this. I'm gonna type minus thickness. Okay, so okay, let's see what happened. Let's fix that. Okay, let me see. How do I fix this? Okay, I'll just leave it like that. I'm gonna create a line right here. I finish sketch. Oops. Okay, I got confused there for a minute, but okay, this is working. Let me change the depth. Let me change the depth of this cabinet. Let me see something. Type 16 inches. Click OK. All right. So this is good for now. Somehow I got a little confused there with the 2D sketch on the side on the left side panel. Okay. Let's change it back to 12 and 8. 12.125. Hit enter. Click OK. All right. Next, I'm gonna create the back panel, but I'm missing. Okay, I'm missing that groove here for the back panel. This is 28. Okay, so I'm gonna have to create a new sketch here. Okay, do this again. All right. I can delete. Go back to that left side, holes and grooves. I'm gonna right click, edit sketch, and I'm gonna delete that line. Okay, delete this line. Okay, so I'm gonna create a new sketch. I'm gonna turn off the bottom panel, and I'm gonna create a line here. Go up, snap it right there. When I hit D on my keyboard for dimension, select that point and that point. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna type setback. Okay, and then I'm gonna create another line. Hit L on my keyboard, select that line, go up, snap it right there. When I hit D for dimension on my keyboard, select that point and that point. I'm gonna type thickness. Okay, I'm gonna finish sketch. Okay, and select that extrude feature right here, holes and grooves. Right click, edit feature, and I'll select that profile there, and this one right here. I'm gonna click OK. Okay. But I don't want this groove to come out there. I don't want to see that in the back. So let's fix this right now. So okay, let's fix that because you can run into this you can run into the same mistakes that I'm running into right now. Okay, which is good. That's how we learn. So let's go back to that holes and grooves sketch. Right click, edit, and select this. So I have it. See, depth is is coming out. See how it's have the depth of the cabinet. So I'm gonna type minus setback, hit enter. Okay, I wanna finish sketch. Okay, alright, so I have another problem here. Um, under holes and grooves, extrude feature, right click, edit, and I'm gonna select that profile and that profile. Yeah, that profile and that profile. Okay, not this guy there, okay. Click OK, see what happens now. And there we have it, alright. Okay, so this right here looks good now. Okay, I'm gonna turn on the bottom panel. Alright. That's why it's always good to change the size of the cabinet to check your parameters. Alright. Just make sure everything is working, everything's um everything's supposed to be modeled the way you want it to, alright? Okay, so I'm gonna create the back panel now. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the right. I'm gonna name this right side. Okay, the mirror component. Right click, rename right side, and this plane as well. Right click, rename right side. Right side. Hit enter. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the right side. Oops, let's misspell. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the right side panel. This component right there, and I'm gonna turn off the bottom panel and the top panel. Oops, bottom panel and top panel. Okay, and I'm gonna create a sketch on this face right here. Okay, so I'm gonna select create sketch, select that face, and I'm gonna create a 2-point rectangle. Okay, and I'll bring it out there. Stop right there. I'm gonna hit D for dimension. Select that point, and type thickness, and select this line. Bring that dimension out so you can see it. I'm gonna type side height because the back panel is the same height as the side panels, right? Same height. So side height, hit enter. Okay. And now I'm gonna extrude that profile to create the back panel. So I'm gonna hit E on my keyboard to extrude. I'm gonna select that profile. Okay. And I'm gonna turn on the right side panel, the component. So I'm gonna type. I want to make this panel parametric. So I'm gonna type width. Hit enter. Okay, it's gonna cut into that right side panel component. That's fine. I'm not gonna click OK. I'm not gonna hit enter on my keyboard. All right. So I'm gonna type minus thickness, and let me put it on top view. I'm gonna click on the top face of this cube so you can see that better. It's minus thickness. Minus thickness of that side panel component, and oops. Okay, so I'm gonna type width minus thickness. It's gonna be plus groove depth. Okay, so it's gonna be minus groove depth. Yeah, there you go. But I don't want to cut into that. I want to change the operation from cut to new component. Okay, get rid of plus. Okay, let me see. Minus groove, minus thickness. Okay, let me see. Minus thickness. Okay, times 2. And let's get rid of that. To be width. There you go. Okay. So it's gonna be minus thickness minus groove depth. Click OK. Okay. All right. So it's still cutting to the See that? It's cutting to the right side panel. So I'm gonna go to the extrude feature. Right click, edit feature, and where it says minus group depth. It's gonna be times 2. Minus group depth. Okay, it's still cutting to the right side panel. So it's minus group depth times 3, I think. Forgot to do this, guys. Sorry. Times 3. Oops. Okay, so something's not right. Okay. Click OK. Let me see the spacing I have here. Select that point and select this point and this point. I am a keyboard to measure. Select that point, and I'm getting 0.37 inches. Check change parameters. Okay, width 28. Okay, so I don't think I mirrored this side panel correctly. Let me check the distance from this panel to that panel. I'm gonna hit I on my keyboard, select that point there. That's 28 inches, so that's good. So why? I don't know why I'm not getting the right width, the side of the back panel. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the slider. See on my timeline, grab the slider, go all the way back there, and then right click, delete all features after history marker. Okay, and I'm gonna go to the sketch, right click, edit sketch, Yeah, select the face there. Okay, so why isn't this working? Okay, okay, hit um I'm gonna hit E for extrude one more time. Select that face, and I'm gonna type width. Okay, it's cutting to the right side panel. So I'm gonna type minus uh, thickness, and I think that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna change the operation from cut to new component, and there's a space right there. So minus thickness. Okay. So you know what? I don't know why this is not working. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna select um. I'm gonna clear this out, and I select this distance. Change the distance to object, and I'll select this face. Okay. Right there, new component. I'm gonna click OK. There's the back panel. I want to change the width of this cabinet to check if this back panel is parametric. All right. I want to go to change parameters and change from 28 to 40 inches. Okay. All right. So so this is good right now. All right. So I forgot how when I modeled this cabinet before. I don't remember how I did it. Okay, but for now I'm gonna use this method. All right. To object in extrude feature. Okay, I just leave it like that. So I'm gonna change the width back to 28 inches. Okay, click OK. I'm gonna turn off the sketch. I can see it right there on the sketches. Click on the arrow to drop it down. Turn off the sketch. I'm gonna rename the sketch. Right click, and or I can just do it right here on my timeline. Right click. Edit. Oops. Right click, rename, and this is gonna be back. Okay, I'm gonna rename this extrude feature. Right click, rename. I'm gonna type back, hit enter. Okay, so the next component is gonna be the fixed shelf. I'm gonna turn the top panel back on and the bottom panel. All right. Okay, I'm gonna change the height of this camera to check the height of the back panel. So I'm gonna turn off the right side panel component, and I'm gonna put on right view by clicking on the cube right here. I'm gonna turn off the I'm gonna turn off the top panel. You know what? I'll leave it like that. So I'm gonna change the height. I'm gonna go to change parameters. I'm gonna change the height from 30 inches to 35. Hit enter. Okay, and there's the back panel right there. See it? Okay, so that looks good. I'm gonna go back to change parameters. I'm gonna change the side height from 35 back to 30 inches. Hit enter. Click OK. Okay. I'm gonna turn the right side um, component back on, and I'm gonna create the fixed shelf. Okay. And I'm gonna name this component back. Hit enter. And I'm gonna isolate this left side panel. I'm gonna select that. Right click. Isolate. Oops. No, I wanted the left side. Right click and isolate. I'll select the left side panel, right click, isolate, and I'm gonna create a sketch right here on this face. So I'm gonna hit I'll select create sketch, select that face right there, and I'm gonna create a 2-point rectangle. So I'm gonna select the 2-point rectangle. I'll select that point there, bring it out, and I'll leave it right there. Okay. So I'm gonna dimension that 2-point rectangle, and I'm gonna select that point and that point there. I'm gonna type thickness, hit enter, and I'll select this line, bring it down, and I'm gonna type depth. I'm gonna hit enter, see what happens. Depth of the cabinet, but I want to minus the setback, the thickness of the back panel, and then I'm gonna add um the depth of the groove. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna double left click on that dimension, and I'm gonna type minus setback minus um, minus thickness. Hit enter. Hit enter. Okay, and I'm gonna add the depth of the groove. So I'm gonna type plus groove depth. I want the fixed shelf, like the back of the fixed shelf, to go into the back panel. I gotta create the groove on the back panel as well. Okay, so I'm gonna hit enter. See that? And I'm gonna finish sketch. Okay, and I'm gonna extrude that profile. Select extrude. Select that profile. I'm gonna turn on the right side component, and I'm gonna select where it says extend type, drop it down to object. That's how I did with the back panel. And I'm gonna select this face there. I don't want to join it. I want this to be a component. So I'll drop it down, select new component. Okay. And I'm gonna click OK. And there's the fixed shelf. I'm gonna name that component fixed shelf. Hit enter. Okay, I gotta create that groove, right, on the back panel. Okay, uh, I'm gonna turn the back panel back on. You see what it's doing. Because I don't have a groove here. It's kind of see the fixture is cutting into the back panel. Okay, turn that off. Turn the bottom component back on and the top component back on. All right, and I'm gonna right click on the back component, and I'm gonna isolate. Okay, rotate the model. And I'm gonna create a 2-point rectangle on this face, right, the inside face of the back panel, to create that groove. All right. So I'm gonna hit R on my keyboard to create that 2-point rectangle. Select that face. I'm gonna snap it right there, and I'm gonna type thickness. I'm gonna hit Tab on my keyboard to dimension that dimension up there. I want the width to be it's gonna be the same. Uh, so the back panel is gonna be. You know what? I'll just bring it out here and snap it right there. Okay. All right. So I gotta have the same distance as the side panels, which is 14 1/4, right? So I'm gonna hit D on my keyboard. I'm gonna select that point and this point there. I'm gonna type group depth plus 14.25 inches. Hit enter. Okay. Now I'm gonna extrude that profile to create that groove. I'm gonna hit E on my keyboard. I'm gonna select that profile. I'm gonna type minus groove depth, and it's gonna cut, right? I'm gonna click OK or hit enter on my keyboard twice. There's that groove. Okay. I'm gonna right click on the back component. I'm gonna unisolate it. Okay. And there it is. See it? I'm gonna turn off the fixed shelf component. You can see that groove. Yeah. Put it on from view. Okay. So everything here lines up. Okay. All right. Beautiful. I turned the fixed shelf back on. Okay. So so this is the upper cabinet right here. Okay. So when I want to change the height and the width, the depth. I want to make sure this model is really parametric. Okay. I'm gonna go to change parameters. I'm gonna make this. Let's make this 40 inches. The width. Hit enter. And the depth. I'm gonna make this 20 inches. Hit enter. And I'm gonna change the height to, let's say, 50. Hit enter. Okay. That looks good, guys. Right? See that? This space right here is always going to be 14 1/4. Okay. See it? There's that setback. Okay. Okay, so I want to change the width back to 28, the side height back to 30, and the depth back to 12 and then 8, 12.125. Hit enter. Oops, now I got a warning. Something's not right. Huh. Okay, so it happens to be extrude. Okay, click OK. I'm gonna right click, edit feature, and turn off the back panel component. Somehow that sketch disappeared. Look at that, it's up there. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Shouldn't be up there. Okay, that's weird. It says no target body found to cut or intersect. Okay, that's weird. I'm gonna cancel that. I'm gonna go back to that sketch. right click, edit sketch, and it's all the way up there. Huh. Wow, that's weird. Okay. Okay, what if I type minus? It's not gonna work. Okay, so this has got to be a bug because this is the formula that I use on the when I model this before. Okay, why is it doing that? That's weird. Okay, so I'm gonna hit finish sketch, and I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna grab the slider here and go there. I'm gonna right click, edit sketch, and I'm gonna delete it. Delete. I'm gonna I'm gonna select the back panel, right click, isolate. Okay, so I'm gonna create a sketch right here. This is this is weird. Never seen that before. Okay, the back panel is the same height as the side panels, right? So I'm gonna delete this feature. Right click, delete all features after history marker. Yes, I want that. So I'm gonna create a 2-point rectangle. Oops, put it on from view. 2-point rectangle. Okay, now it's not selecting enough face. Okay, I'm gonna finish sketch and delete the sketch. Right click, delete. Okay, so that's weird. Um, all right. So I'm gonna create a new sketch. 2-point rectangle. I'm gonna select that face. Snap it right there, and snap it right there. I hit different dimension. Select that point and that point. And I'm gonna type groove plus 14.25. Hit enter. And I'm gonna select that point and this point. And I'm gonna type thickness. Okay. Finish sketch. I'm gonna extrude that. I'm gonna hit E on my keyboard to extrude. Select that profile. I'm gonna type minus groove depth. Hit enter. Hit enter again. All right. And let me change the height of this back panel. I'm gonna go to change parameters, and I'm gonna change this to 40. Oops, change this to 40 inches. Enter. Okay, okay, now it's working. I'm gonna go back to I'll change it back to 30 inches. See what happens now. Okay, now it's working. Okay, click OK. I'm gonna I'm gonna isolate this back panel component. Okay, now it's working. All right, so let me change the height of this cabinet from everything, all all the cabinet parts here. All right, I'm gonna change the height from 30 inches to 40 inches. Hit enter, and I'll click OK. I'm gonna turn off the fixed shelf component. I'm gonna change this height back to 30 inches. Side height, right? 30 inches. Hit enter. Okay, now it's working. Click OK. I'm gonna turn the fixed shelf component back on. Okay, now it's working. Okay, I don't know what the heck happened there. All right. Um, it had to be a bug, all right, in the software. All right. Okay, so I got this upper cabinet model. It's all parametric. I changed the height. I changed the width, the depth. Everything got updated, right? Um, I didn't check the thickness. So let's say the customer wants this to be half inch, right? Which is rare. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen an upper cabinet um, with half inch parts, right? I haven't seen that. So, but let's say he wants the thickness of every part to be half inch. So I'm gonna change the thickness to 0.5. Hit enter, see what happens. Enter. Click OK. All right. So I'm gonna rotate the model. I'm gonna check the setback. I'm gonna turn off the back panel component. And okay, see that? I'm inspecting the cabinet. All right, inside, outside. Okay, so the grooves are half inch. Um, the thickness of but you see how the holes are going through the other side of the side panels, kind of. So I'm gonna go to change parameters. I'm gonna change the hole depth to, let's say, 9 millimeters. Hit enter. Okay. See, now the holes are not really going through this component here and this component there, right? The left side panel and the right side panel. Okay, so I'm gonna change the thickness back to 3/4, type 0.75, and I'm gonna change the hole depth back to 12 millimeters. Hit enter, and I'm gonna click OK. Okay, let's say the customer calls back. Let's say like a month goes back, right? And a month after or 3 months after you model this upper cabinet, the parts got machined on the CNC, and the cabinet got built, and now he wants two upper cabinets, same width, same height, same depth, everything's the same, but he wants two upper cabinets. So I'm gonna create um the other upper cabinet by I got two options. I can use a rectangular pattern, or I can just mirror this cabinet, this the whole cabinet here. But I'm gonna use rectangular pattern, all right, first. And when you change the width of the cabinet, you'll see what happens, all right. So I'm gonna select rectangular pattern, and the type I'm gonna change it to components. And I'll select every single component here: bottom, left side, top, right side, back, fixed shelf, and directions. I'm gonna select this back edge here, and distance type. I'm gonna change that uh, to spacing. No, I'll leave it at extent. See what happens. And quantity, I'm gonna change this to uh, quantity 2. Yeah. Okay. And distance, I'm gonna type width of the cabinet. And there's a second upper cabinet. See that? So I'm gonna click OK. Rotate the model. Okay, I'm gonna change the width. Let's say he goes back. He's like, oh no, I don't want a 28 inch wide upper cabinets, I want them to be 20 inches because the space of the kitchen is smaller than before. Okay, so I'm gonna change the width from 28 to 20. Hit enter. See that? Okay, that's one way. Let's say you didn't use extend. I'm gonna right click edit feature. Let's say you went select the spacing. Click OK. And I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna change the width back to 28. See what happens now. See that? So what happened? All right. So you don't want the spacing in between. Um, you don't want spacing between both cabinets. Okay. So I'm gonna right click edit feature. I can fix it. I can fix this by just typing. See, it says 20 inches. I'm gonna type width again. See what happens. See that? So that's like an extra step if you want to use distance type spacing. See that? But gotta change it back to extend because this is always gonna be that parameter is always gonna be width. All right. When you change it in the change parameters box. Okay. I'm gonna click OK. Go back to change parameters, and I'm gonna type. I'm gonna make these 20 inches. See what happened now. Okay. Click OK, and I'm gonna go back to the rectangular pattern feature. Right click edit feature. I'm gonna change it here. Extend. I have this select. I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna type width one more time. It's gonna fix it. Hit enter. See it? Okay. You can do this if you want, but it's an extra step, right? I would just mirror. The second option is I would just mirror that these components. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm gonna select that slider. I'll bring it back here. I'm gonna right click, delete all features after history marker. So I'm just gonna mirror these components. All right. So I'm gonna select mirror components. That's the type. I'm gonna select the bottom, left side, top, right side, back, fixed shelf, and what's my mirror plane? I don't have one. Well, I don't need it because I'm gonna select this face here. Watch what happens. So select mirror plane. I'm select that face. I'm gonna click OK, and I'm gonna change the width from 20 to 28. See that? See what happens? Okay. This is the best option to use where you want to create multiple upper cabinets right next to each other. Okay. I'm gonna change the width. Let's make this 60 inches. See that? Okay. All right. So that's the best option to use to create multiple upper cabinets. And the option is mirror, right? Not rectangular pattern. You can use rectangular pattern if you want, but as you saw before, it's more work, right? There's the extra step that you have to do, right? Okay, let's change this back to 28 inches. I'm gonna change the height to, let's make this 40 inches or 41. The height of the side panels, not the height of not the overall height of the cabinets. The overall height of the cabinet is gonna be 40, it's gonna be 42 and a quarter, right? Because about 42 and a quarter because you're gonna add this top panel and this bottom panel, right, to the height of the side panel, which is right here. Okay. You want to change the depth on the groove to, let's say, 0.125 inches. See what happens. Now this is going to be 42 and a quarter. Let's check that. Click OK. I'm going to hit I on my keyboard and select this point here and this point there. That's 42 and a quarter, right? See that? What if I change the that groove that back to 4 millimeters? This is going to be a little bigger. Let's go back to that. Where's that? Right here. Groove depth back to 4 millimeters, 4 mm. Oops. Hit enter. Now this is not 42 and a quarter. It's a little bigger. So I'm gonna hit I on my keyboard to measure. I'm gonna select that point and this point there. See that? Now it's 42.185. See that? See it? It's actually smaller. Okay, it's a little less. I'm gonna close it and I'm gonna check. I'm gonna inspect the cabinet, both cabinets. So I'm gonna turn off. See, it's gonna say mirror. You can name this. Let's say right upper cabinet, back. You can rename these mirror components here if you want. All right. Let's say the customer goes back and let's put everything back to 30 inches. So he goes back and now he wants three upper cabinets. So I'm going to mirror this cabinet. All right, I'm going to select the mirror plane, which is going to be this face here. So I'm going to go to mirror and select components. I'm going to select the mirror components. Okay. Bottom mirror, left side mirror, top mirror, right side mirror, back mirror, fixed shell mirror. And my mirror plane is going to be this face here. Click OK. Now I got three upper cabinets. Okay. Let's change the width to 20 inches. Hit enter. See that? I'm going to change the depth to 16 inches. Hit enter. Okay. Now click OK. You see how parametric these upper cabinets are? Okay. Now you got three upper cabinets, and then he wants, let's say the customer calls back, he wants 4, 5 upper cabinets, depending on the size of the kitchen. Okay. So you change. You do mirror. Okay. And so guys, that's it for this video. On the next video, I'm gonna program these parts. All right. For a CNC machine, so I'm gonna program all these parts. All the parts that have to be machining, like they're gonna be machined, like the side panels, the back, the top and bottom, not the fixed shells, because there's no machining involved in the fixed shells, right? Control Z to undo. So on the next video, guys, I'm gonna program. I'm gonna make the CNC programs for this cabinet parts on the next video. All right, so guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys learned something and enjoyed the video. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And for you guys that are new to my channel, I use Fusion 360 to program cabinet parts for Hallmark and Wiki CNC machines. That's what my channel is all about. And I'm gonna be doing more cabinet, different types of cabinets, like base cabinets with adjustable shelves, with drawers. I'm gonna do like upper cabinets that have a finished end. It has a light balance right here on the bottom. Okay, so stay tuned for those videos. Okay, guys, so I'll catch you in the next one. Have a nice day. Peace.